Morning, guys. Today's Plumbers Tech Talk proudly brought to you by OPSA and the PIRB. As you know, why you need to join our OPSA, there it is. There's lots of benefits, and it's really worth just taking the time to read those things one day and have a look what you're missing out of with our OPSA. And today's talk is on costings to run a plumbing business. We find a lot of plumbers don't charge correctly for their work, and we just want to give you a little bit of a spreadsheet today on how to run a business and how to, well, not how to run a business, but how to work out some of your costings on running a business and what you can do to get your costings correct. Before we start, we just want to give you your tips on the prevention of COVID-19. Please, as per government regulations, always wear a mask when out in public. Wash your hands with soap or alcohol-based sanitizer. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, or mouth with unwashed hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick or might be sick. Cover your cough or sneeze with a flexed elbow or tissue, and then throw the tissue in the bin. And clean and disinfect frequently used surfaces and objects. But getting on to today's our OPSA costing template. What we wanted to do, guys, is to give the plumbers the option or the ability to work out what it costs them to be in business every day and how to get an hourly rate or a chargeable rate so that they can run their businesses efficiently and get the right amount of value or costing for them, so that when they come to charging their customer, they can be earning enough money. So what we want to do, guys, is we want to work out your monthly costs or your fixed cost per month. And we filled in figures here, guys, that are probably vastly different from yours. So please, these figures that we filled in are not the be all and end all, and we would like you to put your own numbers in here. The way we've built the spreadsheet is that all of these numbers that you can see here, all of these figures that you can see here, you can change and put in your actual own costs. In this screen here, as I was saying, we've put in numbers or values that we believe are moderately accurate. But please, guys, if you got your own numbers, or when you've got your own numbers, you need to put your own numbers in. And if you use this, it's not going to give you what your costs are. So if we could just run through a couple of things. These are your fixed costs to be in business. The first one maybe is what you pay for your Bakkie finance, Bakkie services, and insurance. Depending on what Bakkie or what vehicle you have, these would be what you pay every month. Then we'd have something like a cell phone, which is obviously a tool to be in business. We'd have a marketing fee or a marketing cost, maybe a bit of advertising, maybe a website hosting, that sort of thing. We would have cleaning materials. We'd have rent. Are you renting an office? Are you working from home? If you work from home, you need a contribution from your business towards your running costs at home, your rates and taxes, that sort of thing. And these are all things that people should be having. I mean, we've given you a list here of a lot of things, but we've probably left out a lot of things as well. You might have different requirements that you need to add here, and we've left you space at the bottom, you'll see, to add numbers. And then we've put in some things that we believe are very important. Pension. When you get to retirement age, or when you get to the end of your plumbing career, you would like to, and we'd like you to have a nest egg towards your retirement. We've put in leave day. A lot of plumbers don't put in days for leave. But if you think about it, guys, everybody's just human, and you need to be having some form of relaxation and rest and things like that. And we need you to have time off in a month or time off at the end of the year, and you need to be saving towards that, because unfortunately, as a plumber, you're charging by the hour or charging by the day, and when you're not working, you're not making money. So you need to make a provision for that. Then some other things, obviously our OPSA membership, PIRB memberships, you might be members of a couple of other societies, something like that can be put through your business. Please put it in. These are all costs that you're going to be paying for every month. Then I've just put for tools, I've just put a very small amount there. But if you're a specialist drain cleaner, for instance, your tool charge might be 15,000 Rand a month, because you've got to finance a machine, or you've got to finance a jetting machine and a trailer, and you would need to be servicing that. So you'd have to put your tool services in, you'd have to put your tool finances in. So that number, if you're a drain cleaner, might be 15,000 Rand a month. If you're a specialist coring tools and things like that, it might also be much higher. So I've just put in numbers here, guys, but these numbers are not accurate for every business. So you need to make sure that the numbers that you see in here are suitable to your business. The car finance might be much more because you've had to buy a very powerful bakkie to tow a very big trailer or something. So you might be adding things in here. You might be putting in drain cleaning machines, chemicals, if you do septic tanks and things like that. Depending on what you're doing here, guys, you need to have your monthly costs in here, and you need to think about everything you add so that we get the most accurate number. As you can see, we've put in bank charges, we've put in internets, we've put in websites, possibly an admin assistant. And a lot of guys, again, they say, oh, but my wife does my books. But she should be earning something. You can't expect your wife to not be earning, or your mother or your sister, whoever's doing your books, not to be earning a salary or not to be a cost. Because a lot of guys say, oh, but that's free, it doesn't cost us anything. And then they're not charging correctly at the end of the month for their business. A couple of very important ones: FEM, that's your workman's compensation. Very important that you have that included in your costing for a monthly fee. Overalls and safety wear, also very important that those things are costed monthly. The last thing you want is for you and your staff to get to site looking like a bunch of beggars off the street. You want to be looking smart, because that's going to lead to getting more and more and better work. And then a very important thing, guys, a lot of people neglect this. A lot of plumbers neglect this. You need to earn a salary, and a lot of plumbers run their businesses on a cash in and cash out basis. What you really need to be aiming for as a plumber is that your business and your personal life are separate, so that you get paid from your business into your personal account, so you can keep track of your salary you're earning, so that when you do want to go and finance a house or whatever you want to go and finance, you can prove that you're earning a salary every month. It's not good business practice to be running it by taking cash out of your business whenever you need money, because then you don't build up a credit history, and it also makes it very difficult if ever you do want to sell your business one day, because the new owner is going to say, but what did you actually earn? And you're going to say, oh, well, I took a bit of money here and I took a bit of money there. It is far better business sense to be putting an amount for a salary every month. And again, these amounts, guys, are different. You can make your salary high, you can make your salary lower. We've just put these numbers in to give you a ballpark figure. The same with staff wages. If you've got maybe one guy helping you, maybe you've got two guys helping you, this would change. And then, very important, PAYE, you need to be making those regular payments to the revenue department. You don't want to get to a situation where in 3 or 4 years' time, they catch up with you and you haven't been paying PAYE correctly and you owe them a huge amount of money. So make sure that you between yourself and your bookkeeper or your professional advice, you're getting the PAYE and that sort of things. And then, yeah, computer systems, printer ribbons, those are all things that you might need to add up. Invoice books, how are you doing invoice books? Are you having them printed? Are you using a computer package? How's it going? And those are all costs that you might need to put in here. Then a couple of things that plumbers tend to forget about and tradesmen tend to forget about, but these things are very, very important, and very important when something goes wrong. Disability insurances. What happens if you fall off a ladder? Key man insurance. What happens if you're in business with a partner and something happens to the partner and he can't work? How are you going to carry on? You need to have these insurances in, and that then leads you to an income protector. Again, if you fall off the ladder, not only have you broken your leg and you need that to be fixed, but you also need an income protector so that after 7 days or 14 days, money is coming in to run your business and to cover your costs. And then there are a whole lot of other costs that we've left out here, guys, that you will have to think about. That's why we've left these gaps. And then the final one, which we thought of at last minute, was a Yoco machine or something like that, a speed point machine. But all of these costs then lead us to this fixed monthly cost. If you look, that is the sum of all of that column B. Then we've worked out that realistically, if you can charge for 30 hours in a week, you've done pretty well, because that equates to about 6 hours a day of actual chargeable time. Because you've got distances between clients, you've got time spent at your plumbing wholesaler, you've got all of those sorts of things. You've got to take a bit of time off to do something, to do admin. We believe that 30 hours is probably as many hours as you can charge for in a week, or which works out to the equivalent of about 130 hours a month. Again, if you believe you can charge more hours than that, you can change the numbers, but I would be hesitant to suggest that you could charge more than 30 hours a week. And then what that's given us is, it's given us, if we work it out, that the chargeable hours at 130 hours a month, and we've taken that, the fixed monthly cost, and that gives us a labor rate. And again, this will be different for every plumber, but you can round it up or round it off. So maybe you could do it at 645 Rand an hour, for instance. But this will be different, and this is where you need to work out your own labor rate, guys. It's no good just copying the spreadsheet. The spreadsheet is not about price fixing. It's not about saying that this is ALPS's recommended rate. This is what you must work out to get your own labor rate. And then if we get a labor rate, we can say that, there we go, we should be charging that labor rate per hour. But what about the time in the car between jobs? What about the fuel and the cost of the variable costs, your fuel costs, that sort of a thing? So we've worked out and said, there's a fuel cost. But again, if the fuel price goes up to 25 Rand, then this would change. And that would then give us, this is for 20 kilometers. That is what our fuel cost is for 20 kilometers. If the fuel price is 1.60 Rand and we're using 10 liters to the 100. But if your car is using 20 liters to the 100 and the fuel cost is also 20 Rand, this could be a bigger number. So this is something that's variable, and you should be changing this with the fuel price, with your own costing of your cars. And then we also have to look at a driving cost, because if you're driving between Bryanston and Fourways, there's probably 20 minutes in the car that you're not charging for. So we need to recoup some of that money. So we've worked out here for you something to the effect of, there's our hourly labor rate, and there is our call out charge. So we could say something like to our customer, our first hour is 900 Rand an hour, and thereafter it's 640 Rand an hour if we were using these rates. And that would be a fairly accurate way and enable you as a plumber to make money. And then we can take this on to installed costs. So we've just done a couple of samples here. And again, guys, these are not accurate prices. You need to put in the prices you're actually paying here and how long it's taking you. How long does it take to install a toilet? We've said that it's only going to take you 3 hours, but maybe it takes you 5 hours. Maybe it's a particularly difficult to install, or maybe you've got 10 in a row next to each other, which is only going to take you 1 hour toilet. So you need to change these quantities and values, but this is a bit of a cheat sheet for you guys to enable you to put the numbers in and get out a value at the end. So we've put in what we believe you would need for a toilet, for instance, a pan connector, an angle valve, a wall plate elbow, a bit of pipe, hopefully head to O, but whatever pipe you want, T-piece, fixation bolts, the actual pan and seat, and that gives you that, 1,116 Rand. We've then suggested a margin. We've put in 10%, but maybe it's a very expensive toilet and you believe that you should be making 25% on it or something because there's a risk involved with carrying it. Then you could increase your margin. And then we said, there's the labor to plumb it, which is behind the wall maybe, and then the labor to install it. And then we said the fuel and distance is 25 kilometers. We've got all our rates from the first sheet, and that gives us a cost to install a toilet. We've done the same here with a wash hand basin. And if you look, we've tried to put in every single thing that we believe would need to be installed in a wash hand basin. And guys, again, you can add this if you need to put in special things, or a special trap, for instance, or a concealed trap, or a cupboard, and you need more time, or you need more materials, you would just add a line and add it in here. And again, we've got all the costings in. We've put the wall plate elbows you'd need, the mixing tap, angle valves, and it'll just times it out for you, give you a cost of materials, add your margin and your labor install. Is it going to take us 2 hours to plumb a basin and 2 hours to install a basin? Right, there we go. And that'll give us our cost. The other thing that plumbers are notorious for doing is giving people a price per meter for a drain. But it's probably quite important to work out what is your drain actually going to cost you. Because this is what we've looked at to install a drain of 230 meters. And as you can see, there's quite significant costs here. But this is much easier to justify to your client if you break it down like this. You can say, there you are. The pipe, this is what it's costing me per meter. The bends, the gully trap, the junctions, all the stuff that would go into a drain. There's the excavation, less than 1 meter deep. It's going to cost me 120 Rand a meter to dig that drain. We need quarter bends, we need SV pipes, we need vent horns, all of the stuff that's going to go with it. Consumables, all that stuff that goes into it. Brackets to hang the drain on the wall. There it gives us our cost of the materials. There's our margin added in. We're making only 10% on that drain. 12 hours of labor to install it. Maybe fuel and distance is 1 or 2 trips there. It's added in, and that would give you your price for the drain. A lot of people ask about geysers, and I saw the other day on a plumbing group that it said, what do you guys charge for a 150 litre geyser? And a couple of the guys put their charges in. But it's not a great way to do business by asking what your colleagues are charging. As you can see from the spreadsheet, everybody's charges are different. And if you're just asking around, you're probably going to come up short. So, and I know that the insurance guides you on geysers, but sometimes it's worth justifying to the insurance company or to your customer and saying, yeah, but your job's a little bit harder to do than what the insurance is offering. We're going to have to install a new pressure reducing valve. We're going to have to put extra wooden planks and brackets in the roof for you. We're going to have to re-lag your geyser. And it's all about justifying your charges to your customer. Because if you can get that right, you're going to make more money at the end of the day. And you're also going to be confident that your costing is correct. And if I was a plumber, I would be showing my customer the sheet. I'd be saying, this is where I get my price. If they query your price, you can say, this is where I get my price. There's the geyser. I priced the geyser at the wholesaler. I bought the valve at the wholesaler. I bought the pipe at the wholesaler. All of this stuff was bought there. I've made a 10% margin on it. I haven't killed you on price. That 10% is what it costs me to transport it and to have the account at the wholesaler. There's my labor to plumb it. There's my distance. And I think quite a lot of you are going to be surprised by that number there. But if we're using these rates that we've worked on, that's a fairly realistic number of what a 150 litre geyser costs you. I got quite a lot of these prices off the internet. I Googled geyser prices and pressure reducing valves and things like that. And that is the number that it came to. So I would suggest that if you're much less than that, you maybe relook your costing and prices on geysers, guys. And then we've done the same with a bath. So we've got it all for you. And the more items you want to do, it's a question of copying and pasting this, changing the name from bath to bidet or sink, whatever it is, putting your costs in here. And this is going to help you guys set up your costing template correctly. And I can tell you that if you're using something like this, the first thing that happens is that you know you've costed everything on there. Your customer can see everything you've costed if you have to show them, and you won't have missed anything. So when something changes, you can go in here and just change it. Bath mixer, oh, they want to put an expensive bath mixer, there's the price, and straight away it'll automatically update and give you the correct price to charge them for a bath. And you will also know that you and your staff have fitted everything correctly to get to those prices. So I hope you guys all understand that. My suggestion to you, if you don't know very much about Excel, is to use Google, or to sign up for a couple of YouTube videos on how to use on Excel. And I would use Excel personally a lot as a plumber to get your costings right and to get your pricing correct. And that brings me to the end of our little chat there. Thank you guys, appreciate it.